From LEX 18, your official UK sports station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Tonight. Presented by Central Bank, the official bank of UK Athletics.
Welcome to BBN Tonight. I'm Keith Farmer.
And I'm Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, a look at a rough weekend for Kentucky football in Tuscaloosa. We're going to hear from the voice of the Wildcats, Tom Leach, and UK defensive end Josh Paschal.
We'll also talk about Big Blue Madness and the beginning, that is, hopefully, of college basketball season. We say hopefully. There's a lot going out there this week. Let's begin with a recap of Saturday's Kentucky-Alabama game. It is tonight's Big Blue story presented by Baptist Health. It's one of the more lopsided losses in UK program history and the worst certainly in the Mark Stoops era. Alabama went on to win 63-3. The Wildcats outgained the Tide in the first 20 minutes, but then only ran 20 plays the entire second half, converting just one first down. Here's what Coach Stoops had to say after the game.
They're everything that you think they are when you see them in person. They can play physical, big, strong backs with a physical line, and they are explosive getting the ball down the field. Their receivers catch everything that's even remotely close to them. Very good team.
Outlaws contained.
Mary Jo, I have to agree. They looked so good at the start of this game. Kentucky, I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like, maybe it was the depth, maybe it was everything that's been going on, missing that teammate on the sidelines, Alabama turning it up. It just turned into a different second half.
They are who they thought they were, yes. As Denny Green once said. Yeah, I mean, Alabama's really good. I don't think the score is necessarily indicative of the game, but the score is what it is. Let's bring in Tom Leach now into the conversation.
Yeah, the voice of the Wildcats is here to talk more UK Alabama and also some Kentucky hoops as the basketball Cats begin play this week.
Tom, before the Alabama game, we got the announcement that COVID is depleting the roster, 10 guys being out, including Chris Rodriguez, Jamin Davis, that's the leading rusher and leading tackler. Chris Rod is off the depth chart this week. Davis is back. It's not an excuse, but man, it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't, and they still have testing to get through this week, so you keep your fingers crossed that it doesn't get any worse this week. You go to Alabama, the number one team in the country, without your best offensive player, without your best defensive player, without your best special teams player, and Max Duffy, plus the other guys. So that's pretty much a prescription for I don't know what the right adjective is, but for an incredibly monumental task.
Well, Tom, running back A.J. Rose raised some eyebrows with his post-game comments about Kentucky's play calling, saying it could have been better, particularly in the red zone. Rose later tweeting that he was not calling out offensive coordinator Eddie Grant. I feel like he just maybe felt like they could have, performed the plays better. I don't know. How did you take it?
I wasn't in on the session, number one, so I didn't see what AJ said. Was it a moment of honesty in frustration on a rough day? Was it a way of, I think what AJ was trying to say later, of just saying it was, a lot of areas of their, performance didn't get up to par of, obviously in this game. Was it a total team thing? And it certainly wasn't any one guy in one coach, one player, anything in that game. So I don't think it's a big deal moving forward. He's a veteran guy, and I think they know who he is. So the thing when they got down there close, that's where you really missed a Chris Rodriguez. That's a guy they normally lean on heavily when they're down there around the goal line. So that was a spot where you really missed C-Rod.
Tom, this is the part of the year where you go to double duty because college football is still going on and college basketball starts this week. Of course, Kentucky kicked things off with Big Blue Madness. That was Friday night ahead of their first game with Morehead State, which is set for Wednesday. This morning, Cal said the team's latest workout was the worst he's ever seen.
Hey, you got to take everything Cal says with a little grain of salt, at least. On things like that. Not everything he says, I guess, but on things like that. So it probably wasn't the worst, but, it was obviously not what he wanted to see a couple of days ahead of the game. We'll see how they look on Saturday or on Wednesday. Normally, we would get a look at these guys in a blue-white scrimmage, a couple of exhibition games. They get to work out some things. They just get to play. And so, normally they would have been playing, back at the start of the month. So, maybe it's just, they're tired of practice and they're ready to play. And, again, your fingers crossed there as far as this COVID stuff with so many teams around the country having to pause their basketball right now, that seems like all systems are still go for Kentucky and Moorhead on Wednesday night. So it'll be exciting just to have the game.
Fingers are crossed. Cal also did say that Keon Brooks will probably have to sit this first week out as he continues to deal with the leg injury.
All right, we can't end this. Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, I'll miss seeing Keon. I'm really looking forward to him having a big year to kind of build on what we saw at the end of last season, which seems like eons ago now.
Yes, it does.
Now, you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but we also have to talk about the COVID-19 headline from the SEC. Ole Miss basketball canceling their first 4 games of the season, suspending activities till December 7th due to positive tests within the program. Tennessee has paused its basketball program after positive tests, including Rick Barnes. We've seen other teams, Arizona, Duke, Baylor, all involved with a lot of this going on as well.
Yeah, Florida too. I think I saw they were the first one before even Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So I saw a list today that one of the college basketball writers put out of all the teams, and I mean, it was a long list. So, this may be what it's going to be in the short run. Hopefully, at some point during the season, with the prospect of a vaccine on the horizon, and hopefully at some point, I'm just hanging on to hope that somewhere during maybe the middle part of the season, it starts, if not before, to normalize a little bit. And let's really hope that happens by the time they get to the postseason. But for right now, Kentucky is, they're doing everything they can and seemingly doing well in terms of controlling it in their environment. But now you start to play other people and you start to leave your quote unquote bubble and go off to play next Tuesday up at Indianapolis and next Sunday down in Atlanta. So, it'll get more challenging then for the Cats.
Let's go 2021. Thank you, Tom. We'll talk soon.
Yay.
All right, stick around. We'll have much more on BBN Tonight right after this.